Hey YouTubers, welcome back to DonnyBoy73. Today I'm going to show you how to diagnose a 5 horsepower Briggs Stratton engine with no compression. When you pull it over, it's really easy, even with the spark plug in. It does have spark, I checked it. It does backfire a bit sometimes. Now I did a compression test on it and all I get is 40 psi. You should get a lot more than that, even if it has an automatic decompressor. Some of these engines have an automatic decompressor on the camshaft to make it easier to pull over, so sometimes you cannot get an actual compression reading, but you can still do a compression reading and you should at least get 60 pounds. That's what I get on snowblowers and they have an automatic decompressor, so 40 pounds is a bit too low. It doesn't start, so now what I have to do is take the engine apart to see if one of the valves is damaged. So now with a ratchet and a 1/2 inch socket I'm going to remove all the bolts that hold the head on. Now once the bolts are all off here, take off this cover. You're going to need to take off this 7/16 bolt here that holds the muffler cover. And just move it aside like that. And now with the 3/8 socket, you'll need to remove the 2 bolts up here. And now you can remove the head. Now here's the piston and the 2 valves. This is the intake valve. Always remember that the intake valve is the biggest of the 2. Now the first thing you should do when you take your engine apart like this is turn it over until the piston is at the bottom. This will make it easier to examine the cylinder to see if it's damaged. Because if your cylinder is damaged, you're not going to have any compression. So with your 2 fingers, just feel down in the cylinder. And what I feel here isn't good. I can feel some scratches or some grooves. And if I feel this side of the engine, it's really rough in there. And this is bad news for an engine pretty well. So as you can see, just this side is the worst. On the other side it's bad, but not as bad. And you see all the carbon on the piston there. That's what most likely caused this problem. Some carbon broke off, jammed in between the piston and the cylinder, and scraped it all up. This engine might have been burning oil for quite a while for carbon to build up that bad, and once it lets go, it just damages everything. So to repair this engine, you'd have to replace the piston and the rings. You would have to hone out the cylinder and put oversized rings. If that doesn't do the trick, you may have to replace the whole block, which is really expensive at that point. You might as well just get another engine. Another thing I do when I take apart these engines is I keep the piston right up like this on the compression stroke. That's when both valves are shut with the piston up. Right at top dead center like this. Then I usually grab the valves with my fingers, and if I can turn them, then I know they're a bit loose. Like the intake over here. This one's a bit tight. So that one's probably doing a better seal. This one would need some kind of work done to it, possibly adjusted from down below. Also, it would be good to lap the valves before you put it back together. So it's a shame that engine is damaged like that, and I highly doubt that the owner is going to want to repair it. So just remember, if your engine has no compression, take the head off, look at the condition of the cylinder and the valves. If your engine is a 2-stroke, you're not going to have any valves, but you still might want to look at the condition of the cylinder and the piston rings. So thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.